Hi Diego, howdy YouTube. It is day 143 non-stop barbecue days in a row. I'm gonna steal some from Balistic Barbecue. I'm gonna steal an idea from Betty's Kitchen. Betty's got what she calls burger littles, and I kind of like how she makes that. It's an interesting way to apply condiments. And then we've got this squishy burger idea. I'm not going to go down that road, but I'm going to use his technique of making a patty, which is very interesting. And then I'm going to try and get that burnt cheese. I'm going to skip trying to steam the bun though. So we're going to see how that works on today's show. Thank you for watching and coming on down to the channel, checking it out, checking out all the different 670, 80 videos we got going on, and supporting AFAB World Charity, Americans for a Better World, through peace and education, sustainable agriculture, and energy independence. We're working on a project, Eco Tourist Village, and a community kitchen that will commercial kitchen co-op that will support local businesses and their ability, small businesses' ability to use a commercial kitchen when they don't need to use a kitchen every day. So some canning, stuff like that. I could do ribs in it one day a week. I could freeze those ribs and I could ship them all over anywhere in the United States. So that could be a way I could start doing my business too. Other farmer processors need a place to do that, and the first step to that would be the commercial kitchen, and the first step to that is the septic system. So that's what I'm going to be working on and see if we can get some funding for it. On with our cooking show. We're going to do two different styles of mini patty burger slider little thingies. Going to be good stuff.
Which included a video for me to watch from YouTuber, one of my YouTube buddies, Mega Fred Zeppelin. First off, really cool guy, and if you're into rock, he has got just unbelievable collection of rock videos, so check him out. Anyway, he sent me a video that he wanted me to watch on a burger joint up in the Sacramento area called the Cuisine. And when you see me cook this burger, you're going to understand why you wanted me to see it. It's pretty over the top.
Hi, I'm Betty. Welcome to Betty's Kitchen. Today we're making burger littles. Yesterday we made chicken littles, and I thought some of you might want something more in the nature of a hamburger or cheeseburger. So we're doing the same thing, only we're doing it with hamburger. And you can turn it into a cheeseburger easily. We'll be using the very same kind of bun. This is the Pepperidge Farm Classic Sliders Mini Sandwich Bun. Now, I didn't think to mention yesterday that some of you are not going to be able to find this bun, and you're going to be distressed that you can't make these. Tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, and that's for the onions that I would like to cook. And I decided to cook these separately from the burgers. You may cook them together, but got that a little bit high there. I'm going to turn that down. I wanted to have more control over the onions. Sometimes when they stick to the burgers, they have a tendency to burn.
Right, you hear that? I don't have onions in my house. The reason she's using onions is to add a sweet alternative flavor to your burger. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do mushrooms in butter with a little bit of honey. And we're going to make those a really sweet sauteed mushroom. I'm going to cook them longer than I normally do so they're sweeter. And I think I'll simulate the onion experience very well. And then, you know, Balistic Barbecue guys got some interesting way to make a burger, so let's go look at that right now. I've been watching how Betty's doing her burger while preparing my burger patty meat the way, as you can see, I flaked this burger, flaked all this hamburger up. Here's what and how I did. See, I just happen to have these patties. I bought them because they were pre-formed. So it's easier for me to determine how much is in each patty. I can take off and use it without having to weigh it. But all I did was I started flaking it open. And I really hope that this pays off with some sort of good flavor experience. or texture experience. That's how easy it is. Now we're going to form these into little patties as soon as I get done here. And he used a couple of different seasoning salts on his burger. Betty used a meat tenderizer, but she said you could just use salt and pepper, and she used cracked pepper. So I'm gonna use Knox Spice cracked pepper on Betty's burger littles, and I'm going to I'm not sure what I'm going to use on Balistic Barbecue's. It's really not a squishy burger like he called it, but we're simulating that somewhat. More so, I'm just trying to make a burger patty the way he did, by basically trying to make it as fluffy as possible. Alright, we've got, I don't know, a teaspoon and a half of Knox Spice cracked pepper, and to that I'm going to add a teaspoon of ground sea salt.
Again, when I formed this burger, so this was kind of off camera, but this is going to be the face down side. Hit that with the seasoning.
Alright, put seasoning on one side.
Some more seasoning.
And you basically just kind of gently pushed everything.
Alright, oh, gorgeous. Now here's where the coolness starts here.
And the pepper. Now back over to Betty's burgers. Betty's Burger Littles. Isn't that just cute? Put this light on the food. Yeah. We'll just go ahead and mix this a little bit because she mixed her meat up. And then we'll quarter it. Now, me, I'm a firm believer in mixing your meat well. I haven't found anything that so far has indicated that mixing it, you can over-mix it. Now, maybe the kind of meat I get, the 80-20, has so much fat you can't really mix it too much. I don't know. We'll compare this that isn't even really mixed to this that I'm purposely over-mixing just to make my point. Okay, let's divide that into half. And then half again. I want these to be flat because that's how I like my cheeseburgers, and Betty didn't indicate anything about this part of the process, so this is how I do it. Alright, here we have our two styles of patties. We've got the little fluffy sliders that we're going to try and simulate the squishy, which just might as well call it a cheese crisp burger. And then we've got the Betty's Burger Littles. And because I'm using a little more fat in the meat than she did, I want to squish them flatter than she did. These will puff back up. They will. Alright, now to properly simulate the onion experience and get them sweet and tender and juicy, I'm just going to cut them up again. So we're basically dicing the mushrooms. Then we're going to probably take 3 tablespoons of butter, and we're going to saute these for approximately 20 to 30 minutes. I'm not sure. I can always stop the process once I get to the translucent type. It's not really translucent, that's the state mushroom onion is in when it caramelizes. Mushroom's a bit different, but pretty similar. It's soft and gooey. And that's it. Alright, we've got 3 tabs of butter. And just a squeeze of honey. Well, if the honey's going to come out. It's kind of cold in the house today. I think it got up to 60 so far. So that's honey at 60 degrees. We don't need a lot. We're just trying to get a little bit of sweetness going on there. Definitely time to turn that down to low and let it simmer. Otherwise it'd be done in just a few minutes. You can get fancy if you want. Then we're just going to let that steam cook on low till the burgers are done. Alright, I was not getting my temperature up with those 2 half rack things under there, so I just dumped it out. I'll get more airflow this way, and we are not cooking offset this time. I want some heat going on. I'm going to want to burn some cheese. It's raining pretty good nowadays. Grill is super hot, probably going to be like 2 minutes per side. So I'm going to run in and get the cheese as soon as these are on. Oh yeah. It's like 800 degrees, I swear to God, 800 degrees easy. So we have ketchup, mayonnaise, relish, tomatoes, and lettuce. Mushrooms. The first thing she starts with is putting the patty on the bun. That's interesting. I usually normally put mayonnaise and relish down. Then she put her cheese on, and then she picked like a combination. I'm going to use mayonnaise, because I know Angie's going to like that. She won't like my relish. I think she had a little more creamy mayonnaise than I did. I should have whipped mine up before I started playing with it. And then we're just going to take some, and I'm going to use the same knife, unlike the nice lady that Betty is. I don't have guests, I have a wife who's very hungry. And we're going to put some ketchup on top of that. And then we're going to do a combination topper with a little bit of lettuce and some tomato. Ta-da! Isn't that cute? Can you see that? Let's zoom in. And there you have it, folks. It's a really cute, simple little burger, and we'll have Angie taste it, and we'll let you know what she thinks of that. How I would typically dress up a bun. If I wanted to save calories and fat, I would skip the mayonnaise altogether. And I put some relish down. Now this is going to be a drippy, gooey hamburger, so it's probably not the best for like a party. And then yeah, let's go ahead and slap a burger on that little baby. And then, you know, we like lettuce. Lots of lettuce. And then a tomato. And maybe, want to get a little creative, you could put a little bit of mayo on the tomato. And then your ketchup right on your bread. That'll just help give you a more moist hamburger experience. Like I said, ooey gooey falling apart. Drippy gooey, ooey gooey, whatever we call it. And it's that simple, folks. We'll give this one to Angie, let's see which way she likes it. Alright, after cutting it in half to share with Angie, I realized I forgot the mushroom. She would have put that straight on top of the burger. I'm just going to put it on top of the lettuce because that's where it came apart at. And so let's taste this bad baby. That's a good way to do mushrooms, alright. We got the Balistic Barbecue patties, and we're going to put the spice side down. We're going to cook this. We're going to go get the pizza pan. We're going to pull them off, put the pizza pan down, put them on, and finish it about to the point of needing to be flipped. Which was good, because I was concerned I was late. So yeah, that's how we're going to do it. I'm going to set these off to the side a little bit. They are starting to run. Or if you stand down, snap some buns around. Ow! Alright, let's flip that heat up a bit. One fell swoop. Okay? Oh, I didn't leave that space. Alright, now here's how I'm simulating a whole bunch of shredded cheese. I got my garlic, and then I got a lump of cheddar. Hopefully this will do the exact same thing he was doing. I'm not going to use many ice cubes to use. I will use one. See, my grill is not getting as excited about it as his did. That is not steaming like his did. I'm just going to remove the ice cubes now and not screw everything up. It's that rain, man. I just can't get the grill up hot enough. Oh, look at those, almost ready. Alright, I probably should have used 2 slices of cheese on that. But here we have our cheeseburger. Oh. So, I just can't get the bun back off. So we're going to go ahead and put our tomato on. And then we've got our lettuce. And then we've got our pseudo squishy burger. Pseudo squishy slider. And as you can see, there's a nice crisp layer of cheese there. In fact, Andrew's over there cleaning up the stuff that I didn't get off the pan. Having fun with that. So we got our mayonnaise, our relish, our mushroom, which is Pacific Northwest caviar, our lettuce from the garden, our tomatoes fresh from the garden, and then another version. There you have it. And you can put ketchup on that if you like. Yeah, it's almost like there's no burger consistency there at all. You just go right through it. Not quite as smoky as the first set of patties because they cooked only half the time on the grill. The other half the time they were on the pizza pan burning some cheese, and that cheese turned out good. I liked it that way. I just want to comment on Balistic Barbecue style patty making here. And you bite into it and you don't really impact into the patty like you normally would. You just kind of slide right through it. So for me, it's kind of wrong. My patty should stop my teeth a bit, but it's very soft and tender that way. And so I guess that is an extreme examples of how you could not mix your patty and how well you can mix it. I'll try that out and tell me what you all think. Alright, that was our burger littles and our squishy sliders as inspired from Betty from Betty's Kitchen and her burger littles. Suggest you go check them out if you haven't already done so. And from Balistic Barbecue we have the squishy, which I didn't quite get to work right. Wasn't hot enough to melt the ice cubes were too big, and I didn't have enough cheese on mine, but it still kind of worked out, and I really love that idea. I suggest you all try both of those. And in trying to simulate the sauteed onions, I made sauteed mushrooms, and I really liked that. That turned out really good, really sweet. Just a little bit of honey goes a long ways. So thank you all for watching. Day 143 Nonstop Barbecue Marathon days in a row. We are going to visit Betty's Kitchen and we are going to visit Balistic Barbecue, and we are going to copy a couple of ideas they have for what I'm calling sliders. Balistic Barbecue actually made a full-size burger called the Squishy, and I'm going to do something similar by following how he makes his patty and then try and get that crispy cheese going on. And I'm going to do the same thing with Betty. You try to follow her patty making and ingredients, and then I'm going to try and do the condiments the way she did it, except I'm going to be using lettuce instead of a pickle because I don't have a pickle. I'm sure that's okay. Alright, here we have tomatoes on the vine still at different states. Need to rinse these off, it looks like. I just cut them because this is our second day of rain, and basically they're not going to ripen much anymore outside. They're just going to get split because water on the outside of the skin causes them to split. I think I see one happening. Nope, not quite. Cool. Anyway, so you just cut off your vines and you hang them up and they'll dry, or you can dry them up, rinse them, dry them off, and layer them in paper towels in a box in a somewhat cool and especially dry place. And they'll ripen a couple weeks, a couple months, depending on how green they are.